All right, everyone, hello. Good evening. Hello, hello.
Hello, teacher, good evening.
Good evening, guys. How are you today? Good evening. All right, we are waiting for the rest of the students to connect to our session today. Let's give them 2 more minutes and then we will start with the presentations because we have 9 students to present their projects today. Right, so let's give them 1 or 2 more minutes and then we will start. All right, I think we are ready to start. So let's see. We'll start today with Jean-Claude. If it's okay, you will be the first, and then the rest of you will be assigned at random. Okay, so the first will be Jean-Claude because he couldn't present it yesterday, but then the rest of you will be assigned at random. Okay. Gerson, Elkin, Julián, Carlos, Mabel y José, Julisette, and Lisette Tarazon. Okay? So, Jean-Claude, you may start. Please share your
Okay.
screen.
Okay, teacher.
And turn on your camera.
Okay, teacher.
Yes, I can see the presentation and I can see you. Very good.
Okay, teacher. Hello, teacher. Hello, classmates. I'm going to talk about the artificial intelligence and my opinion on its negative impact on society and employment. For me, it's important to discuss this topic because we should be prepared for the change that this technology bring us. First of all, why I choose this topic? I choose this topic because I believe it's important to start discussing the scope of artificial intelligence in our society, considering the inevitable displacement of humans from the majority of productive tasks in industry and technology by more efficient automation systems. Why is it controversial? AI has been the subject of debates and concerns about its impact on society, including the potential for a labor crisis and social unrest it could generate. When did the debate on artificial intelligence, its negative impact on society began? The debate about the negative impact of artificial intelligence on society has been ongoing for several decades. However, it intensified as AI become more advanced and its application become widespread in various areas. Basic description. Overall, the debate on the negative impact of AE on society has evolved over time, driven by technological advancements and change in the application of AE in different sectors. The economic, social, and cultural crisis has been increasing due to the automation of system in the industry and technology, making humans more replaceable. The impact of artificial intelligence on human creativity, a critical examination. Um, I have 6 arguments. The argument 1 is repetitive tasks. Argument 2, dependency on algorithms. Argument 3, lack of serendipity. Argument 4, loss of uniqueness. Argument 5, reduction in skill development. And argument 6, emotional and intuitive elements. Argument 1. Argument 1, AE automation of repetitive tasks can reduce opportunities for creative problem solving and innovation, as people may rely on AE for routine activities, potentially hindering human creativity. The argument number 2, dependence on AE algorithms for efficiency may limit independent thinking and originality, undermining the development of creative thinking skills. The argument 3, A is data-driven nature might diminish serendipity, reducing the occurrence of unexpected discoveries that drive creativity breakthroughs. Argument 4, the artificial intelligence replication of established patterns might homogenize creativity output, leading to a loss of individuality and unique perspective in art and other creative domains. The argument number 5, overlays on artificial intelligence for complex tasks may deter individuals from cultivating their own creativity abilities, hindering personal growth and creative potential. And finally, the argument number 6, artificial intelligence struggles to replicate emotional and intuitive elements crucial for human creativity, potentially decreasing the richness and complexity of creativity work. Mm, Opinions about this topic. It's inevitable that artificial intelligence is part of our day-to-day, which age facing day technology advance more and more, and soon we will know no limits. We must adapt to it and start discussing the good and bad of incorporating artificial intelligence into our society. The government must begin to teach from school, course, and universities about how to use artificial intelligence and how to adapt to it without it being something harmful. The conclusions: job displacement, the widespread adoption of artificial intelligence and automation could lead to job losses in various sectors, contributing to the economic inequality and social unrest. Privacy and security concerns, the integration of artificial intelligence technologies often involve the collections and analysis of personal data, raising significant concerns about privacy breaches and data misuse. Ethical dilemmas. Artificial intelligence systems, especially those based of machine learning, can perpetuate biases present in their training data, leading to discriminatory outcomes. It's all, teacher. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jean-Claude. And now we will have some opinion. Thank you, Gerson. Okay, we have 3 opinions already. So Gerson, Mavely, and Natalia. So let's start with Gerson. Go
Yeah, teacher,
ahead.
thank you again. One question, Jen. What do you think about the affirmation of sentence? Some people could be lost their jobs due to EA. What should they do? Sorry.
I think that we should adapt our skills and abilities to the new era, because the new era is here in this moment. The artificial intelligence is present in all tasks during the day. So the best that we can do is adapt our skills and abilities for this new technology.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jan. I think the same.
All right.
Gerson.
Thank you, Gerson. It was Mavely and then Natalie.
Okay, I think or I believe that artificial intelligence has become a permanent part of our environment, and we must adapt and use it in a positive way. And it is true that many people fear the advancement of artificial intelligence, but because they believe it could eventually replace humans in the future. But we have to adapt to the changes.
To the new technologies.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mavely. Good. Finally, Natalia, for this round.
Okay, teacher. Well, I agree with Jan. I think that AI can have many risks in terms of insecurity and lack of jobs, which could cause more crime and more employment. I think that there must be careful control and balance between the introduction of AE and the world. We
So,
wouldn't
be
we
careful.
wouldn't yes, teacher, we wouldn't want to a real Skynet in our world.
Yes.
And additionally, I read an article that said that in this moment there are problems identifying real photos, which photo generates with AE, and it also say that cybercriminals with the help of AE are creating voice notes of friends or and family to carry out robberies and extortion, and this could become a big problem, I think.
Yes, this is a big problem in AI with the image that you cannot identify if it's a real picture or if it's generated by the AIs. So it's quite problematic in that aspect. But very good. Thank you, guys. So we have this topic in other 2 presentations. So we can continue talking about this later. Brian, that you have your hand up. we will hear your opinion in the other presentations about this topic. Thank you, Jan. Very good.
Thank you, teacher.
All right, and we continue. So let me take the attendance very quickly, and then we continue with the next presentations, all right? Let's see, Gerson Arismendi.
The presentation, teacher.
No, it's attendance.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, present.
Yes, okay. Jean-Claude, yes. Yesid,
Present, teacher.
okay, thank you. Natalia Camargo,
Present, teacher.
right. Brian Cordero,
Present, teacher.
okay, thanks. Andres Correa,
My teacher present.
right. Silvia Cuellar. Okay, Silvia is not here. Elkin Fernandez,
Present, teacher.
all right. Julián Figueroa,
Present, teacher.
okay, thanks. Ginette Fontecha, Carlos Galán, all right. Mabel Gamboa,
Present, teacher.
thanks. José Alejandro Gómez, Jose, it's not here. Yuridice Liscano,
Present, teacher.
okay. And Lisette Carolina Tarazona.
Present, teacher.
Okay, excellent guys, very good. So now we will continue with our presentations. Let's choose who is going to be next. All right, Carlos, you are next.
Yes, teacher, I am ready.
Okay.
Okay. So, one moment, teacher. Yes. Can you
Okay.
see my screen?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, one moment. Yes. Hello, everyone. I will present the controversial issue in life with title Children under 12 years old shouldn't be allowed to use cell phones. This topic is related to excessive use of mobile phone in children. Okay, why I choose it? I choose why it is a big problem of today's society because, for example, at the moment I know some children that have a big problem with this addiction to use screens or device, and the excessive and uncontrolled cell phone use by children shows atypical behavior. It's normal that you see some children with uncontrolled behavior with when you take your cell phone, for example. The complex problem is that some parents don't have a lot of time available what to keep children quiet is with the screens. In normal society, for example, the parents have work and many hours don't have or don't time to control their children, and other people have the control about your education. If don't control the use of mobile phones, the problem is obtained. Why I chose it? Because experts believe that the use and abuse of screens from an early age impedes children's cognitive and motor development. Okay, the principal activities for development of children is the motor and social skills. And the mobile phones or screens don't have these characteristics for developing these topics. Why is it controversial? First is an easy way to entertain children. Yes, because there are very problem with parents to have time in it. The best for to entertain is with a device. The second one is there are different applications of the device, but audiovisual content easily captures human attention. And finally, if the use is done under strict supervision, the result will always be negative. Yes, because the content in this mobile phone is open for the user, and the children don't have enough criteria for decide with why content is according for your age. Why is it controversial? Okay, the effect is much more marked in children because it prevents the development of motor and social skills. And as a result, I have a question for everyone. Should children use mobile phones? When it happens, okay, once the child is dependent on the device, it is difficult to remove it. And it occurs in multiple situations. For example, during a visit on the street, in the use or in the house, sorry, with the other people are sharing or as good. The normal activities of a child with this dependence is see the audio or videos in the mobile phone and don't pay attention to the other children or the other people. How it happens? It happens because of a lack of concern of the parents, who are the ones who directly give the device to the children. Yes, in this moment, it's normal that the children don't have the mobile phones. The mobile phones are given for their parents, and they need to have the control, the use control, the mobile phones of these children. There are many arguments against and some arguments for. The arguments against is the children have to experience a multisensory environment that they not able to perceive with technology. Technology only provide a limit possibility to develop multisensor capacity. Second one, difficult to control what the children seems on the device, because normally when you give the device to children, they open many web space and you don't have the total control about this content. And finally, the medical or health result is the effect of the mobile phone on vision problem. Some arguments for is access to educational content. It's possible that you have access for educational content, but you need to put in the mobile phone because music or video games are more easy to open by children. And it's possible developing skills in the use of technology, because today there are many activities with technology. This is important, obtain these abilities or skills. In conclusion, the formation and growth of children should be based on the accompaniment and teaching by responsible adults. In this sense, it should be based on games and interaction for motor, intellectual, and affective development. Second one, for this process of formation and growth, it is possible to use or facilitate the use of screens and devices, but this must be controlled all the time, and only limit access to content is necessary to complement what it is seen with other activities and relationship with social context. And finally, in my opinion, I agree that the uncontrolled use of device by children under 12 years old is completely dangerous, and the statement that is based on recent studies. And finally, I have a picture about how to teach your child to read. The best form to teach your child to read is by example. Thank you very much for your attention. And a video, but I don't have enough time, or yes.
Yes. How long
Okay.
is the video?
It's short. It's
Okay,
short video.
we can watch it.
Okay. Yes, teacher is finished the video.
All right. Okay, excellent. Yes. Okay, thank you, Carlos, for your presentation. Very, very nice. We already have 3 opinions here. Okay, let's leave Elkin, Yesid, and Julian for this round.
I don't. ¿Cómo paro la pantalla? I don't.
Okay, let me try. Let me help you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All right, good. So let's hear, who did I mention first? I forgot.
Elkin.
Okay, Elkin.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think that it's my opinion. We are slaves of technology from an early age. And sometimes parents don't have a lot of time, and children are raised and with these cell phones, iPads, some technology. I think that depending of the content the kids have access to, good or bad effects will be seen in the future. And we seen imperative, and the kids are imperative and inattentive, and they can concentrate at school. I think that in my opinion, the best thing would be from the age of 15, the child can have access to my mobile phone. But that is my personal experience that happened to me, and nothing bad. I think it hasn't affect my vision for now.
Okay.
I use
Yes.
glasses, but to protect my eyes and from the damage of
Okay.
the blue light, but I can still see well. And okay, that is all my opinion about
All right.
the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, Elkim. Very good. Yesid, you can go ahead and share your opinion.
Yes, teacher, it's my opinion. I am completely agree with Carlos. Why? Because I believe the children today shouldn't have cell phone. There is an addition to cell phones that affect interpersonal relationship between they, and it's difficult for them to make friends, and it affects their cognitive system, as Carlos said.
For sure.
I think we have time to take measures.
Yes.
For example, in Netherlands, recently, uh, forbidden the use of cell phones in children, Ireland too, and China is take
Doing the same? Oh.
Yes.
All right. Very interesting. Yes. It's especially important while the child is young, so very little, that the access to the devices is quite limited, so they can develop all their skills properly. I agree. Thank you, Jessit. And finally, Julian, to conclude this part.
Yes, and I agree with Carlos because if you see the new trends such TikTok have shaped us. For example, I think that the majority of people nowadays have lack of attention because we are in constantly stimuli. So, for example, in focus on childs, and the video of YouTube, the most viewed video on YouTube is Baby Shark with 12,000 millions of views, and taking a go that only have almost 8,000 millions of people around the world, so of world population. So it says something about how it could have a, a great hand in the upgrading of our child. I think that the child don't have to use cell phones anytime.
Not young and maybe when they are older. So we say children, not child, children. All right, thank you, Julian. Excellent, guys, very good. Opinion and the conclusion, yes, it's even if technology can affect us as adults with our attention, it's designed to keep us trapped, right? So that you keep watching and watching. So imagine what that can do to a child that whose brain is not fully developed and it needs other kind of stimuli and not only the one from technology. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Very interesting topic. And thank you everyone for your opinions. Excellent. Good. Now we can continue with our another presentation. Let's see. In the next one, I will let Andres participate. Sorry, Andres. I see your hand for the opinion. In this one, you will be the first one, okay? Okay, let's see. Jose, it's your turn to present.
Yes, teacher.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Here in the slides. Yes.
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yes, you can start.
Okay. My presentation is autotune and excessive vocal processing are not necessarily bad and can be a great musical resource. Well, as someone who greatly enjoys discovering new music from around the world, one of the topics that caught my attention was music production, where I came to appreciate the history behind devices that enhance music recording. Within this controversial topic arises, is autotune a tool or a trap for artists?
Wait, are you showing us the slides? I only see the
Yes,
first.
teacher.
I only see the first one.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I thought
This is the
is in the small version, so maybe you can put it like
okay.
bigger. Okay, so to
Okay.
present it in the big format. Okay, maybe go back and yeah.
No, teacher.
Okay,
Yes.
in full screen at the bottom, can you see? I don't know. No, I see like the black screen with the small slide and then the little slide to the
Okay,
side.
teacher.
So let's
I don't
see.
know how.
Jose, put the previous screen, the previous.
Yeah. So escape. Okay.
In down.
Vista allow.
Okay.
No. Okay.
No,
There
no.
there we
El
can
de la
see.
derecha, el
Is
último de la
better?
derecha. Creo que es.
No.
No.
Creo que en el que estaba
I
antes
think
podíamos verlo
it's
mejor.
better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That one is good. Yes, you can
Okay.
start again. Sorry.
Okay, well, as someone who really enjoys discovering new music from around the world, one of the topics that caught my attention was music production, where I came to appreciate the story behind devices that enhance music recording. Within this controversial topic arises. Is autotune a tool or a trap for artists? From the title, you can already expect my answer, but let me explain. Why is it controversial? Hated by many, appraised by others. It is a tool that is hard to love, but over the years, I have learned to respect and appreciate it for how different musicians have used it. However, I've always found that the controversy arises fiercely from criticizing linking autotune to contemporary mainstream music, blaming it for the proliferation of less virtuosic voices compared to past decades. Secondly, from the misinformation surrounding this musical tool, associating its use with a lack of talent. And finally, the use of autotune creates a divide between what is considered genuine music, deeming good, and bad music, basically, seen as questionable. To avoid falling into such ambiguous definition, I suggest understanding autotune as a tool that in fact is older than one might think, dating back to the 1960 and has been used in music production for a long time. Let's explore its history. When did it happen? Let's start our journey with one of the early innovations in sound modification, the vocoder, which emerged back in the 60s. This musical tool allowed for the fascinating robotization of voices. Well, fast forward to the late 70s and 80s, and we witnesses the rise of autotune, a tool that gained immense popularity. It became notably associated with a distinctive robotic vocal effect, so many of us recognize. And in fact, we can associate it with an entire interstellar aesthetic that it refers to robots. Autotune didn't stop at vocal improvement. It evolved into a medium for musical experimentation. Artists and society has a whole begun to embrace the manipulation of musical frequencies, pushing creative boundaries, not only in the more experimental side of music, but also in popular music. These sounds began to be integrated, which nowadays sound closer to us. As a technology advanced, so did autotune. It became increasingly sophisticated, offering various modes and levels of correction. What's more, it simply integrated into digital audio workstation, the DAWs, and music production softwares, making it an indispensable tool for modern music production at all levels. But setting history aside for a moment, let's examine the arguments. The arguments against, well, despite this fascinating journey and the integration of technology and music, criticism persists. On one hand, autotune is seen as a facilitator, sorry. On the other hand, some may argue that by perfecting the voice to such an extent, it diminishes the expressiveness of singers, compromising the authenticity of music. And there are those who take it to the extreme, associating the autotune with the mediocrity and the decline of virtuosic voices of music. Okay, the arguments in favor come from those who understand that music is also a technological process and that technology can enhance experimentation. In this regard, they view it as part of evolution, believing that with such tools, we can enjoy artists with different vocal range and abilities. These artists may not necessarily be virtuosos in performance, but excel in their ideas and the construction of sonic landscapes. So, my opinion leans more towards advocating for the merits of music. I believe it is essential to open our ears to new sonic experiences. This doesn't diminish the perfect or the imperfect, but provides us with tools to have greater creative freedom. Just as artificial intelligence simplifies tasks in many fields, musicians can also have not only facilitators, but also tools to perfect or simply create. With these tools, they can express different emotion and add a unique flavor to their songs. So my conclusion is that autotune and excessive vocal processing are not inherently bad, but rather they are powerful musical resources when used good. These tools enable artists to push boundaries, experiment with their sounds, and reach new creative heights. By embracing technology and exploring the possibilities it offers, musicians can continue to evolve and shape the future of music. Let us celebrate the diversity and artistic freedom that autotune and vocal processing bring, for they are instruments of innovation and expression in the ever-evolving landscape of music. That's it.
All right, excellent, Jose. Thank you very much. I see a hand.
Teacher, I have a video, but I don't know.
How long is it?
2 minutes, or is too much?
Okay, that's the time we have for the discussion.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can send it through the WhatsApp group and the link
Okay,
if you
teacher.
have it, and share it with them. Thank you very much.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
All right, let's see. I told you Andres. So would you like to participate in this one, Andres, and then Brian?
Okay, teacher. The first time I want to say that I agree with the conclusion that Jose said. And about my opinion of this topic, for me, it can be a great musical tools when, for example, artists use in a creatively on moderation way. It could be a great tool because I think this kind of technologies allow to artists to explore um, an unique or an interesting type of sounds. And for that reason, does allow to live a new musical experience. But how I said, it's essential to find a balance to ensure that tool. Because, for example, we know that many artists, especially in kind of music like a reggaeton, are using this tool, and sometimes it sounds good, but not always. Sometimes.
Yes, other sounds terrible. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Andres, very good. Thank you. And Brian. So for this one, we will only have two opinions. So, Brian, you can go ahead.
Yes, teacher. I agree with autotune is a tool of the music composer, producer, because a song is not only a singer with a great voice, even is a mixture of singers, musicians, and producers. And I think artists could express these ideas by new sounds can be achieved by autotune.
Okay, yes. So it's not only that you have a good voice, but it's a mix of the producer and how they use all these different tools. All right. Thank you, guys, Jose and your classmates for your opinion. Very nice. Interesting topic. Thank you. Now let's see the next. Next student. Who will it be? Okay, Julian.
Okay, one moment. Mm, mm, mm. Can you see?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay. Well, hello for my whole classmates. Um, the topic that I have shows is forced labor or modern slavery in nowadays as a third project advance. What it is? Well, it can be understood at work that is performed involuntarily and under the means of any penalty. It refers to situations in which persons are concerned to work through the use of violence or intimidation, or by more subtle means, such manipulated death, retention of identity papers, or threats of denunciation to migration authorities. We can see some examples in the last World Cup. Sorry, I didn't active my camera. Yes. I'm
No, we
sorry.
cannot see you. Yeah, you can activate
Yes.
it.
Let me a moment, please. Sorry. A moment, please. Because I have to active it with the 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 cell phone because I don't have.
You have to connect through the cell phone.
Yes.
Um, all right, no problem. You can continue just your presentation without the camera. There's no problem. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Well, um, we have some examples in in the last World Cup with non news, which talked about strangers worker and working under poor conditions, in their pretending their IDs such passports by their employers. Why it is controversial? It is controversial because most people are employees. So if we want to talk about this topic with some people, they could think anything other than they are affected by this situation. So we can see different levels in these kinds of labor abuses. And on the other hand, many of people think that they are paid unfairly even considering the extra hours that they work without pay are only a reward of not being fired. We are going to take more into account those we stay overtime almost of almost as a threat. How it happens? When? When happens? Forced labor occurs when individuals are compelled against their will to provide work or service through the use of force, threat, or coercion. We have seen some example through is known worse examples such people doing self-assist death in Oriental countries such as China and South Korea. Vulnerable people is frequently seen in target vulnerable populations such as children, individuals without low immigration status, those with debts, and those who are isolated, impoverished, or disabled. For example, in my own situation, I had to work for less than those who were legal because when I arrived to Colombia, I didn't have a legal situation, a legal immigration situation or status. Okay, arguments against. We have some arguments against the forced labor. As I mentioned, and overtime is always optional, but it is so optional when you receive constant threats of how people have been fired for not doing it, and even worse, when they are not paid or just paid with almost nothing or just under threats. And another could be taking advantage of people immigration or legal status to make them work longer hours for less pay. I have suffered as it also. And against four could be a main argument is that we are free and we can choose which job to choose and if we want to quit or continue after all. And another could be that the cities have been built by a hardworking and have created the system that maintains stability of today. We have, we can see like our financial system are sustained by in a big percent for Chinese system. Why I mentioned Chinese system? Because they have constantly singled out for these practices, for forced labor or something like that. Opinions. I have developed two big opinions on from one from morality, another from economy and development. From a moral point of view, it is unacceptable to exploit people for the benefit of someone, and above all knowing that exploit people are mostly vulnerable population, as I mentioned before. From a court side, you might think that without those people who have been exploited throughout history, we would never have the great technological and infrastructure advances that we currently have. For example, mining and construction. I mentioned mining due to the overexploitation of silicon mines, which is basically what today's technology is based on. So without that, it could and that the advance of technologies of nowadays couldn't be possible. In conclusion, we find that it is a problem that affects also directly or indirectly. We realize the levels of exploitation and forced labor that we can experience from forcing employees to work overtime with a little or no reward. This in the middle case, we have already mentioned various levels of forced labor, I have seen how powerful people have harassed lower level employees so that they resign without consequence, always getting away with it. Agree or disagree? Well, first of all, I choose this topic because I have experienced forced labor in person. Therefore, in my experience, it is a reality. As an immigration, I had to work more than native people for less pay. But it is true that to irregular immigration status, it is difficult to get a job what is more regulated by law. But you have accepted that thanks to these jobs, I was able to support myself for a while. So it was too difficult choose an option between fight
Yes,
against and just eat.
and
Okay, agree or disagree? At the time of working as a legal person in 100% regulated company, I realized that manipulation and poor conditions that are given to minimum wage employees, like saying it's better to go out to work than to go out looking for a job, creating fear in people so that they endure bad conditions. What solutions could have? This is a problem that generates millions of profit for those who benefit. It is very difficult to fight against these crimes. They should start by education works, boys and girls, parents and immigrants, how to combat labor inequality. When there is money involved, it is very difficult to fight against.
it
Okay,
is.
thank you for watching
Mhm.
video.
All right. Thank you, Julian. Very interesting. And this topic of labor, right? Or irregular labor practices in modern times. Unfortunately, we don't have much time left, so your 10 minutes are up. So we cannot have opinions in this round. But thank you, Julian. It was a very interesting presentation. Okay. Now we must continue because we still have 5 students left to present their project. So let's move it. We cannot go beyond the 10 minutes for each student. Okay. Let's see who is next. Okay, Lisette, it's your turn. Lisette Tarasona.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
Let me. It is loading, sorry. Okay. Good evening, classmates and teacher. Today I'm going to talk about body positivity, and I would like to start with my controversial question, which is, can body positivity turn toxic? I chose this topic because it has been trending in recent years, and it's important to know its reaches and limits to see how much we allow ourselves to be influenced by it. I will start by telling you why is it controversial. Throughout history, bodies have been judged or socially accepted according to different standards of beauty imposed by society. of course, it has changed according to the time. The fight against these standards has created several movements and ideologies, such as body positivity or body neutrality, etc. And unfortunately, social media reminds us that no one's body is good enough. And we can see it especially on Instagram, because there are lots of retouched photos and many filters to look perfect. But what's the story behind this? The body positivity has its origins in the late 1960s, and it was created to help marginalized people who were strongly criticized for their appearance. They were mainly those racially discriminated, fat people, feminists, and LGBTQA plus community that claimed for their right to be treated with respect and dignity. In recent years, since 2012, the movement has regained its influence thanks to social media. But how does it happen, or what does this movement promote? It promotes the acceptance of our bodies as they are, regardless of size, shape, skin tone, gender, and physical abilities. And there are many quotes that are shown everywhere. And as we can see on the image, some of the quotes or affirmations are that style has no size, that size doesn't define your beauty, that you are wonderful as you are, etc. But what's the impact of these affirmations in our lives? And this is what we are going to see in the arguments in favor. The first one is that it encourages people to love their bodies no matter what they look like. As we saw in the previous slide, when I read the quote, they change lives when their true meaning comes to life and when we believe them. The next one is that body positivity movement intends to move away from society's dominant ideals of beauty. And this is because it promotes the acceptance of different bodies. And we are not forced to follow unrealistic ideals of attractiveness. And the next one is that research suggests that exposure to body positive content has a good effect on body image and self-esteem. And this is advantageous because it may help reduce some mental conditions, such as depression or eating disorders. But what are the potential drawbacks of these ideas? The first one is that the theory of self-love is very inspiring, but it is not easy to put it into practice. And it can add pressure on our mental health. This is because self-love is not just about saying you love yourself. It requires daily work and lots of effort. And it is normal if we have some days where we just do not feel confident in our own skin. We can't avoid it. It is completely natural, and this forms part of our experiences. The next one is that when it is misunderstood, health risks can appear due to overweight or underweight. And this is because a weight is correlated with health. And we can't put as an excuse these ideas to be unhealthy or not taking care of oneself. And the third disadvantage is that we can't focus only on appearance. And the movement has classified natural aspects of human body as flaws. And we can see this in the next slide. A study in 2019 analyzed a set of 640 Instagram posts from popular body positive accounts, and they found that 39% 0.5% of body positivity images represented at least one perceived flaw. And this is not right because it qualifies normal things of all human beings as a defect. And these normal things are, for example, cellulite, stretch marks, bodily hair, and wrinkles. And the drawback here is that we should not be obsessed to perceive these flaws and be like obsessed with the idea of loving them. The conclusions are that it is important to dissolve standards, these society's standards, and fight against this superficial way of looking at beauty by involving diversity in different daily environments. The second conclusion is that we do not have to love our bodies obsessively all the time, but we do have to accept them. And this task requires daily work, self-awareness, and doing what feels best for our mental and physical health, not forcing ourselves to change or be like someone else or to follow just one standard of beauty. The third one is that many other movements have appeared, and among them, body neutrality, in which our bodies, abilities, and non-physical characteristics are more important. In my opinion, I like this issue because society still gives it a hypocritical approach. Because people tell you to love yourself, but you are asked to hide your acne, your belly rolls, or your stretch marks. The second one is that what is important to emphasize is that we should not have an opinion of other people's bodies because we don't know their fights, we don't know anything about their lives. And the third one is that our body is only a part of who we are, not the whole. And there are some things that we can't control, and this is our DNA, our genes. And we must keep a balance between loving ourselves as we are, being grateful for the functioning of our bodies, and working to keep ourselves healthy. Thanks for your attention, and remember to love yourselves as you are.
All right. Excellently said. Thank you very much. That was excellent presentation, and I must say that I'm impressed with your pronunciation. It was great. Okay, so congratulations. All right, so let's see. We have time for one opinion, and then we move to the next presentation. So maybe, for example, I would like to hear Silvia. That you were not here.
Actually, I wanted to say something.
Good.
It's something personal, but when I was a child, I was really slim or thin, I would say, and I suffered bullying at school. So you will think, but you was thin or slim. Why you suffer that? But yes, I have. And now when I am mature person, I would say, and I realize that for society, it doesn't matter if you are slim or if you are chubby. It doesn't matter because society sadly is really mean. So if you want to be happy, if you want to like don't care about the opinions, you need to start thinking that it doesn't matter how do you look, because even if you look good or even if you look bad, always people have I don't know how to pronounce this word, but
judgment. Yeah, they have judgment.
Yes, so
toward yours too.
Yes, so I wanted to say that because you will think that you are slim, so where you are yes, because it's frequently it's more with with this chubby person. I will say I don't know if the correct word because I don't want to sound
This
rude.
is something maybe Lisette research about this. So the word fat doesn't mean something bad. You are just
Okay.
fat.
Normal.
Yes, as you are
Yes.
tall or short, this is not a bad or an insult word. Okay, so you
Yes.
can just say a fat or bigger person. You can say that.
Yes. So in summary, my recommendation is that you need to pay attention more for yourself, not for the others' opinion.
Yes, all right, excellent. And I think the most important thing about the presentation is that you are more than your body, right? You are your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. So what you are interested in, so that's more important than if you are chubby or if you are more slim or if you have all of these things. This comes after all the more important things. All right, excellent, guys. Thank you, Lisette and Silvia, for your opinion. We will continue with our next presentation. Let's go ahead, please. Who's next? Okay, let's see. Elki. Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, teacher, give me a minute, please.
We don't have a minute. You have
Okay.
20 seconds.
20 seconds later.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's blue. I don't see any letters. I only see blue.
Okay, no problem. That
Okay.
is the slide.
All right.
Okay, let me turn on my camera. Can you see me?
Yes.
Can you watch me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me start. Hi guys, how are you? Good evening. I'm going to talk about the impact of automation, excuse me, on the job market and employment. Okay, think for a moment about your current job now with the recent technological advances. Do you think you will be replaced by the machine? Let's take a look at it. The impact of automation on the job market and employment is a significant concern in today's rapidly advancing technological era. This issue is controversial as it raises questions about job security, income inequality, and the need for upskilling to remain employable in a changing labor market. But why is it controversial? The impact of automation on the job market and employment is controversial due to its potential to disrupt traditional employing patterns. But when it happens or when it happens, the process of automation, excuse me, and its impact on the job market has been ongoing for decades, but it has accelerated in recent years with advancements in technology and artificial intelligence. Automations has already affected various sectors, including manufacturing, retail, custom service, transportations, and even professions such as accounting services and legal services. And here in the slide, we watch a robot, and lawyers should be forewarned because here we have a robot that can take their jobs. And this in a nutshell happened in the USA, and where an artificial intelligence powered robot lawyer defended a traffic offender in front of a court. That is amazing, and it's time to consult your robot lawyer. And how it happens? Automation happens through the integration of technology, robotics, and artificial intelligence into various tasks and process. Jobs that involve repetitive or predictable tasks are particularly vulnerable to automation. Some examples here: manufacturing, transportation, and healthcare in a near future. And now I've organized a summary of the arguments for and against. And with the arguments for increased efficiency and productivity, and automation can perform tasks more quickly and accurately than humans. You produce more with fewer resources. This leads to cost reduction, safety. Dangerous and repetitive tasks can be automated, reducing the risk of workplace accident and injuries for human workers. And finally, quality and improvement and innovation and skill enhancement, workers can focus on more creative and complex aspect in their jobs, leading to a skill enhancement and develop of new roles like programming or interior design. Or and arguments against the impact of automation on the job market. Job displacement is one of the arguments against, because automation can lead to job loss that include income inequality, because the displaced workers face financial insecurity because they lost their jobs. And dependency on technology can make societies vulnerable to disruptions caused by technical glitch and cyber attacks. Like, for example, in EFX attack with the government internet. Okay, and finally, in my opinion, automation, in workplace will eliminate many jobs, but sometimes is eliminated. New jobs are created, technology advances quickly, and that allows jobs that didn't exist before to be created now, and they are very necessary. I am in favor of automation. And conclusions, as automation continues to advance, it's crucial for individuals, businesses, and policymakers to consider strategies to mitigate its negative effects while capitalizing some on its benefits. Upskilling and reskilling programs can help workers transition to new roles that leverage uniquely human skills. I leave you with this sentence that summarizes my conclusion. And with a meme, if you didn't have, let me translate that for you. If you didn't have a robot, you didn't have a childhood. And finally, thanks for your attention.
All
I am
right.
open for your question.
Okay, Elkin, thank you very much. I would like to hear Lisette Liscano's opinion on this topic, or if you have any questions for Elkin.
I just have just one question. What to do to avoid being replaced by a machine or a robot? What we have to do in our jobs to conserve
to avoid this, okay, or to keep our jobs. What do you think,
Yes.
Elkin?
Okay, you hear me? Excuse me?
Yes.
Okay, and what is necessary to avoid that a machine can be replaced by your force
Oh, you
your
are
lateral?
replaced by
You're
a
replaced
machine.
by a machine. Okay, and you need to focus on worker skills. Worker skills need to be upgraded to adapt to the changing world, to the changing job requirements affected by automations. Because technology is advancing, and an example of this is in the field of artificial intelligence, which has made it's possible to put in when people reach to generate text, image, for example. That could be a great problem for the photographers or
Graphic
that people that
designers, yes.
graphic designer is difficult. Have you heard about deepfakes? Deepfakes is an
Yes.
example of this technology. And so we should not be afraid and use the advantage that the technology gives us to make our lives easier.
All right.
If okay, I say something. If they throw you a stone and you build a castle with that.
All right. Similar to if life throws you lemons, make lemonade.
Make a lemonade, yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Elkin. And thank you, Lisette, for your opinion. Very good. Let's speed it up and see if we can finish the presentations today. We still have three more students to go. So I would like to hear, Maveli, your topic is related to this, right? As well.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's present yours and then we go with Gerson and Lisette.
My presentation?
Yes.
Okay, teacher. Okay. Teacher, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can. Please turn on your camera and you can start.
Okay, let me check. Yes.
Yes. Now we can see you. All right.
Okay. Okay. Hello, classmates and teacher. My name is Marily Gamboa, and today I'm going to talk about the impact of artificial intelligence on employment. Is it threat or opportunity? First, I'm going to explain a little bit about the general concept of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is developed of computer system capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, social learning, problem solving, and decision making. The impact of artificial intelligence on employment, threat, or opportunity. Nowadays, this topic has gained relevance because every day the tech industry can develop better tools to make human life easier. However, the rapid progress of industry and industry can develop better tools. Artificial intelligence has gained continuous debates among employees, and professionals across various sectors. Artificial intelligence in the workplace has generated controversy for several reasons. Some of them are, on one side, there is concern about job loss as AI can automate tasks previously performed by humans. Also, changes in required skills can make it difficult for workers to adapt. let's take a closer look. How can artificial intelligence be a beneficial tool for employment? Artificial intelligence can increase productivity. It can profit, engage, accuracy, and quality of work, saving time and resources. On the flip side, how can artificial intelligence be a threat tool for employment? A job displacement could happen as it may replace certain jobs, particularly those involving routine and repetitive tasks. This can lead to job losses and unemployment for individuals who are unable to adapt or transition to new roles. In my opinion, I think this topic is that has been getting advanced for many sectors. For example, in the fields of energy, science, and supply chain. I find this topic particularly intriguing as it holds relevance not only for those currently in the workforce, but also for future generations entering an increasingly automated world. Also, AI raises significant aspects and changes as to think critically about the interplay between technology, employment, and human well-being. In conclusion, the impact of artificial intelligence on employment is a complex issue, while AI presents the potential for increased productivity and enhanced currency in the workplace. It also concerns about job displacements and the need for workers to adapt to changing skill requires. Finally, finding a balance between harnessing the benefits of AI technology and mitigating potential negative consequences is crucial for ensuring a future where humans and AI can coexist harmoniously. And thank you for joining me in this exploration of a topic that will continue to shape the way we work and interact with technology in the years to come.
All right, Maveli, thank you. Very good presentation. Excellent. Guys, we are going to stop with the comments for now. We only have 20 minutes, so that's just the right time to finish our two presentations, okay? So it's because of time that we are going to cut the opinions now, but very good, Maveli, thanks. We can continue with Gerson.
Okay, teacher. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Hello, everyone. The topic is participation of transgender athletes in sport competition. To first, I would like to explain what does it mean to be transgender. Transgender is individuals who experience incongruence between the gender that they were assigned at birth and their gender identity, or experience gender. Besides, I would like to ask a question. Is people who identify as transgender should have the right to compete in sport competition? Why? Because these have different consideration like rights, equity, impact in sport and society, and finally hormonal difference. Mm, So why it's controversial? The participation of transgender people in professional sport is controversial due to various concerns. The first, protection on fair competition, next, protection biologic difference. This we can see example, males versus females. For example, in childhood. Until adulthood, we can see a growth to the testosterone, and if you compare in females, the testosterone is constant. And final, other consideration is competitive advantage of gender equity. Okay, when it happens, Uh, in 2004, during the Olympic Games in Athens, there was a change in the rules of this competition. It consists in that transgender athletes could compete without surgery. The most recently news about this topic or controversial news was in Tokyo 2020, the weightlifter Laurel Hubbard became the first transgender people woman to compete the Olympic Games. Okay, about the arguments for and against. First, pros is inclusion and equality because diverse sport reflect equal opportunities for all genders, human rights, how I mentioned previously, trans athletes' rights to compete fairly and freely, ethic values, it means fairness, respect, and diversity in sport contexts, physical and mental health, enhance well-being through sport participation, and finally, social integration is mean inclusion, foster understanding and empathy in society. And about counts is mean biological advantage, natural physical difference impact competitive fairness. It's if you remember the graphic of testosterone is mean about it. And about the public perception is a controversy may arise affecting public view of sports, privacy and dignity, balancing inclusivity with personal comfort and boundaries. And safety concerns is consideration regarding safety in contact sport competition. And finally, fairness and level playing field, equitable competition amidst physiological disparities. We can see a survey in the USA about the discuss people against of participation for these people. And my personal opinion, I consider that participation of transgender women in female sport categories could generate challenge signs. There is a biological difference. It means again with the testosterone, and probably the creation of a specific competition for transgender people could be an equitable and respectful solution for all players. And finally, just like the Paralympic Games, where the diversity of skill is recognized and celebrated, offering exclusive categories of transgender athletes, it could give a just and balance in competition for all. And finally, our conclusion of this topic, the implementation of separate competition for transgender athletes. How I say previously, uh, this would allow transgender people to compete in an environment that respects their skills and abilities, while at the same time ensuring that female competition continues being a space where the transgender athletes can compete in the same condition. By taking a consistent approach of inclusion and equity, we could find a way more diverse and respectful sport environment for our players. This is teacher. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you for the
Okay.
attention.
Thank you, Gerson. Very good and quite an interesting topic that can be controversial. All right. Good. So as I said, we are going to skip opinions. So guys, if you have anything that you would like to share about this topic, you can do it on the chat. We will read them later as we go. But let's listen to Lisette to finish for today. All right. You can go ahead, Lisette. Please turn on your camera.
Sorry, teacher. Can you see my presentation?
No, I am seeing Zoom. So
Sorry. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry, teacher. And now?
All right, now it's okay. Please turn on your camera and you can start.
Sorry, teacher. Just give me 1 second to turn off my camera.
Okay. Yes, now we can see it.
Okay, before starting to talk about this topic, I would like to do some question. Have you ever used online dating apps? Have you had the opportunity to maintain long distance relationship with people that you have never met in person? Do you know how popular this practice has become? Did you know that in Latin America, more than 1 million downloads of Tinder dating application were recorded by 2022? Okay, before this introduction, I'm going to talk about the global impact generated by mobile application and social networks on establishment of interpersonal relationship. No. Okay, this topic is controversial due to the misuse that has been given to this type of platform. In some cases, people think that this advantage is good because you can talk with different people around the world, and in that way you can find a lot of opportunities to create a new life in another country. But also, many bad people have used these social networks to deceive vulnerable people in order to receive some benefits. It could be economic, sexual, and any other.
It's white. I can okay. Now it's black. Okay. Now I see it. All right.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, these people used to create fake
No,
profiles
no,
and in which
sorry.
they
Sorry, we cannot see it. I see it in white. I don't know if the others have the same issue.
Teacher is the same.
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
There it's okay. Leave it there. Don't put it. No lo amplíes porque se va. Déjalo ahí. Ahí como estás. Ahí lo vemos. Ujú.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, these people used to create fake profiles in which they look more attractive and interesting than they really are. And unfortunately, most of the time, people affected are minors who don't receive supervision and care from their parents. However, it is common to find cybercrimes against people of all of age. Okay, the current situation and the impact that we can see today is society regarding the use of mobile application and social network is the result of an evolutionary process of technology over the last year. The origin of social networks dates back to the late 70s, but it was until 1997 that the first social networks were launched. Bolt and 6 Degrees, which were created as a platform to help people to connect with each other. While there are many positive things about using social media, it also has a number of harmful effects on its users that can be dangerous in several ways. Also, there are many applications that have been created in order to meet and interact with new people. However, some of these apps are created with confusing names that seek to go unnoticed when a parent wants to be aware of the application used by their children. The creation of many apps becomes a risk because there is no proper control when a person creates a profile in each of these. Okay, how did that happen? Technological advancement has allowed most people to have a smartphone or a communication device in which we can find a variety of applications to meet people. A recent study revealed that 59% of the world population are active users of social networks. Due to the ease of creating a profile on a social network to meet people or make friends, some people take with fake photos based on lies to devise innocent people who just wanted to find someone to share. However, this is not always the case. Social networks allow you to connect with your friends and family around the world. The important thing is to make sure that you are communicating with a profile of a real person and not a liar. We may think that it is impossible for people not to realize that someone is lying of or their profile, but due to the great technological advances that have been made, this type of people create different images that make their deceptions seems a reality. For example, there are apps that you can use to edit photos and create videos that you could look like a real person and real life. Okay, a basic description of the scenario. When using social networks to meet new people, the risk involved must be taken into account. Not all the people in the digital world have the best intentions, as is the case of the young Canadian uh, woman. Her name was Ashley. She was murdered in the United Kingdom when she met her virtual friend. She had been communicating by FaceTime for nearly 5 years with him. In the other hand, we have Mariana and Gail. They met in person after taking every day for almost 2 years through the Tinder application. They are currently married and, and plan to have a long life together. These are two phases of dating apps. In this digital world, strategies must be generated to clearly identify situations that represent an imminent danger to avoid cases that of the young Canadian. Okay, in my opinion, we must be careful with our interaction of the internet. If we want to meet new people through these apps, let's verify their profiles. If we are going to meet someone in person, let's schedule dates in public places. And avoid sharing personal information such as private photos and videos and telephones numbers and or locations.
All right. Thank you, Lisette. Very good. Overall, great pronunciation. So well done. All right, guys. Excellent. You can stop sharing your screen. And thank you, everyone, for your presentations. They were very interesting and well done. So just one recommendation before you disconnect. In the next part, you will be with teacher Sandy, okay? But remember, when you finish the exam, send a message either to me or through the group so I can verify and give you the okay that I received the message, okay? Entonces, como van a estar con la profe Sandy, ella no va a recibir los exámenes, los recibiré yo a mi correo. Entonces, ustedes cuando terminen, por favor, verifican conmigo a través del WhatsApp, en el grupo o a mi número, que ya terminaron y yo les confirmo si ya lo recibí, ¿ok? Les doy pues el ok y ya se pueden desconectar. Entonces, esa parte que van a hacer del examen es el listening y la parte del writing, ¿ok? El ensayo y el otro ejercicio que tienen que hacer de escritura. ¿Listo? Entonces, ¿alguna pregunta cuando ya se conecten con la profe Sandy? Ella les va a colaborar. ¿Listo? Bye bye, guys. See you
Okay,
tomorrow.
teacher.
Hey, teacher,
Bye.
bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
Thank
teacher.
you.
See you
Bye
tomorrow.
bye.